Hello, good evening, everyone. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Okay, I give it a couple minutes after 1. I'm sure a couple people will trickle on, but welcome to the Harmonic Scanner training call. You are welcome to drop things in the chat. Let's first just make sure everybody can hear me. So in the chat box, please type a 777 if you can hear me clearly, because everyone's muted at the moment. Hello. Hi, Latasha. Hi, Lakaya. Hi, Plez. All right, excellent. Hi, April. Okay, good. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Adriana. Okay, good. Sounds like everybody can hear me. I see your mics set up. Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started. At the end, I will open it up for Q&A. But what I want to do really is start to explain to you how this harmonic scanner can change your life if you learn what I've learned and what many people have learned before. This is called the optimal entry strategy. So make sure you have a paper and pen and you're able to take notes so you can follow this very simple strategy for the harmonic scanner. So since some people may be on here that are brand new to trading and don't necessarily know anything about trading, I am going to take just a few minutes to describe what we're looking at. Okay, so the harmonic scanner picks up harmonic patterns in the market for you. For example, if you're trading Euro AUD, right? If you're trading the Euro and the AUD, it's going to tell you this is the trade that's popping up. The D candle on the top, if it's on the top, it's a sell trade. So please write that down. If it is on the bottom of a pattern, it is a buy trade. Okay, so for new people that come on the call, we're just going into the basics of trading with the harmonic scanner. So you have a buy trade or a sell trade, only 2 directions, that's it. So price is either rising or price is falling, and you are trying to capture the points or pips in each direction. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into exactly what we're looking at. So now you know what you're looking at with the pattern. There are different types of patterns that are going to come up. For example, this is a shark pattern. We have bat patterns, Gartley patterns. The patterns themselves are just showing you the measurements, which you don't need to worry about all these measurements, right? These are Fibonacci ratios. What are the measurements? What you do want to be paying attention to is the candle, this formation of the D candle. So the first thing you want to do when you start to trade, okay, the very first thing, number one, you want to check Forex Factory for news, forexfactory.com, because you just want to have an idea if the pairs you're looking at trading have volatility coming. So you're not surprised with big spikes. Okay, and once you've done that, you can determine if you want to take that trade or not. So since today is Thursday, I'm on a different time zone, so I think all the grayed out are finished. All right, so there's no more red folder news for today, 7:50 p.m. And then all day tomorrow, there's Euro news and Canadian news right at this time. So Euro and CAD. All right, so I'm looking at Euro and AUD, but it's a long ways from now for the news, so I don't need to worry about the news. Now I'm going to get right into it. So once you check the news, number two is you open up the harmonic scanner, and what you're looking for is a fresh trade. Your optimal entry has this candle formed, and the second candle is forming. So this trade is late, okay? You either need to be on time or you're late. This one is late, meaning, and you could take it still and try to go from TP2 to TP3, and I'll show you why. But your optimal entry is going to be around here, where the entry point is, right around there. How do you know that? So now I'm going to show you how you know that. So number two was you want to make sure the trade is on time, meaning 1 to 2 candles maximum have formed from the D mark. So now I'm going to show you number three, the indicators you're going to add. And you're really only adding 2 more indicators. Okay, so we keep it very simple. So the first indicator you're going to add for the optimal entry strategy is a Bollinger Band. The second indicator you're going to add is the stochastic. Okay, and where those came from is right here. This wavy grid right here, you just click on that, and then you can either type in the word or look for it, like Bollinger Bands right there. You can also scroll down and look for stochastic, okay, which is right here. Okay, so once we have this on our chart, what we're able to see is where the trade's going to go, where the pullback is, and if we should get in the trade. 3 very important things. Where the trade is going to go, okay, it tells you your entry, it tells you your exit, and it tells you your pullback. All right? Now, here's your entry point. So you would be looking at this when the D candle is forming or the second candle is already starting. The first rule is the second candle has to pierce the Bollinger Band. Past this Bollinger Band, so right around there. That's how you know when you're going to enter it. So the blue candle has formed. The second candle has pierced the Bollinger Band, meaning it's gone deep enough to pass this top of the Bollinger Band right here. You're looking for a wide Bollinger Band. Now, what is the Bollinger Band telling you? It's telling you where the trade is going to go. It's saying this end mark, right? This is the top. This is how you know once it pierces that, you get in. But the bottom is telling you how far the trade may go. So it's telling you this trade is going to go to TP3. Okay? The third thing it tells you, so it tells you your entry, tells you your exit, it shows you a potential pullback. This red line, it's kind of faint. Let me go from over here. See that red line? This red line going through the Bollinger Band is telling you where a potential pullback can be. So if you see the candle start to get weaker and pull back, but the Bollinger Band said it's going to head to TP3, you would know you could stay in the trade a little bit longer. I recommend when you first try this strategy, focus on getting to TP1 first, as many times as you can hit TP1, because I use it mainly for TP1 and sometimes TP2. I like to get out before the pullback. I'm just not a big fan of pullback, so I rarely go all the way to TP3 unless I'm trailing the trade, which I will talk about at the very end. Okay, so that is how you look at the Bollinger Band itself. Now, these other ones, when you're going in for a sell, you want the RSI to be around the 60 mark. And 60 is right here in the corner. See the 60? When you're going in for a buy, you want it to be closer to like the 30 mark would be better. Okay, so it should be low. Because it's basically telling you, if it's up here, it's close to 60 here, it's telling you it's going to fall. But you're still waiting for this one candle to get in. So once price is moving in your direction, you're getting in around here, you would already see from this point to this point, and it would be heading in a downward direction. The other thing you're looking for is the crossover on the stochastic. Very simple. The two lines must cross. So when the two lines cross, the sells, the red will be on top. For the buys, the blue will be on top. Okay, so as you can see, these candles going up right here. You see how this blue line down here, it crossed, and the blue is on top. And then it exhausted itself. It got high up here, and when it's high, if price is high, you want to buy, you want to sell when it's high, it's going to fall. So once the harmonic scanner picked up, oh, this pattern's changing, it's falling, you have a cross right here. That's it. It's really super simple. It's three things. It is your Bollinger Band, making sure it pierces the entry and is wide, and then making sure you don't even need to worry as much about the RSI, honestly. I'm not going to focus on the RSI that much. It's the stochastic that really shows you what you need to be doing. So the stochastic crosses, the red is on top, it's in a sell trade, and you can take it to TP1. You want to be aggressive and go to TP2. Understand there's going to be a pullback at this red line, which is exactly what it's doing right now. This candle, the second candle, pierced TP2, but now you have a pullback. And then your odds of going from here all the way to TP3, they may change, because as this pullback happens, the Bollinger Band sometimes rises a little bit. And if it's in between 2 and 3, I don't want to risk trying to go to 3. So for me, I use a strategy for only TP1 and TP2. Take profit 1 and take profit 2. Now the benefit of this, if you look at this trade, right, from the stop to the entry is a 3 pip risk. So if you're trading with $1 per pip, you're only risking $3. If you're trading with $10 per pip, you're risking $30 if you get in on the entry line. But we needed it to pierce the Bollinger Band. So we're actually not getting in right there. We're getting in closer to the second entry, which is 6287. So it's an additional, instead of 3 pips, it's another 4 pips. So it's 7 pips. So you have to control your risk, right? The risk management is extremely important with trading in general. If we're willing to risk 7 pips and we're willing to put, say, $1 to it, you're only risking $7. But the potential of the trade from your entry to where it's going, from your entry around here, 87, dropping to 38, already right there. Oh, 83, sorry, that's 4 pips. And then another 2 pips, so that's 6 pips. So you know you're trying to get 6 pips to TP2, which is very doable if you have this Bollinger Band right here. Now, each pair moves a different amount of pips at a time. So some have a much larger pip count. Okay, so this is an active trade that's happening right now. I'm just going to refresh and see if it's still the most accurate. So when you're looking for the most recent trade, you have to hit the refresh button. And the most recent trade is still Euro AUD. When you hit refresh, unfortunately, the indicators fall off. They don't stay on. At least they haven't for me. But see, the Bollinger Band is still wide. It's still showing the pullback is here. So we'll come back and look at this trade. I'll write it down. Oops, all right. I'll write it down and see where it goes. So Euro AUD. Okay. Okay. All right, so now let's look at the other options. So I start at the top with the brokers to find my trades. So AUD JPY is here on Hot Forex, but it's old. So it happened a while ago. How do I know when it happened? Each candle represents 15 minutes. So if the present time right now, if you're on Eastern Standard Time, it's 7:15. This is the 7:15 candle forming. It's going to go from 7:15 to 7:30. This one would be the 7 o'clock candle that goes from 7 to 7:15, and so on and so forth. So you can count 4 candles equal an hour. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that was at 6:15. 1, 2, 3, 4, that was at 5:15. 1, 2, 3, 4, that was at 4:15. So this actually formed at 4:30. This candle right here formed at 4:30 p.m. But when I'm looking at this trade, this older trade, when it formed, right, it pierced, everything was already inside the Bollinger Band, was already there. So if I'm waiting for a sell trade, right, the D is on top and the entries are below, the take profits are below, so we know it's going to be a sell trade. I'm waiting for the candle itself to drop down into the Bollinger Band. It's already in the Bollinger Band, and the Bollinger Band would have shown me it's going in between TP2 and TP3. See the bottom of the Bollinger Band right here? This is the bottom of the Bollinger Band at that point of the second candle. So I wouldn't try necessarily to get it to TP3, although it went all the way to TP3. It pierced it, and now it's reversing. So this trade is old. You can't actually take it. So let's look at the next one. USD Chef. Okay. This is also an old trade. Why? Because too many candles have formed already. You wouldn't get an optimal entry. And look at what's happening to the Bollinger Band. It's getting very small, right? Which means basically consolidation is happening. So we'll just move on from that. And if you've gotten to the third or fourth trade down and it's old, the rest are going to be old too, because the most recent is on top. I was looking for a buy trade. This is a good one to use as an example. Okay, so this Bollinger Band is very, very small right now. It's not even crossing the top of the entry. So I would not be taking this trade just from the looks of it. It may eventually move up, okay, but it's not reaching our qualifications for it to be an optimal entry. So we're not going to pay attention to this right now. Because look at where this is. The stochastic is up here. So what does that mean? That means sell. The stochastic is high, so it's sell. All right, so forget that one. Let's see if another one comes up. Those are all old. So hit the refresh button and see, okay, still we're on Euro AUD. Now I'm gonna look for, all right, we already looked at that. We looked at that. I think we looked at GBP AUD as well. No, we didn't, okay. Chef Euro. So the GBP AUD pattern, yep, that already formed and started. Although it's just piercing the first entry. Let's see what Bollinger Bands look like on it. Okay, very narrow Bollinger Band. We want the bottom of the Bollinger Band to be way down here, somewhere like TP2 or TP3. So that would not meet our qualifications. Okay, so GBP AUD, that was old. Let's see. Yeah, these are all the same trades. JFX has the same. Traders Way has Euro AUD at the top. We looked at AUD JPY. So this is what you need to do when you're waiting for the trades, right? You pick a block of time. Say you're going to block out an hour or 2 hours to trade. You have to be patient because you have to get the trade to pop up. All of these trades have already happened. So the only trade we could consider taking a while back, a few candles back, would have been this one. So this one formed 1, 2, 3, 4, an hour ago, okay? But that pullback line, as you can see, it is pulling back. So we'll pay attention to that. All right, so for now, I'll go ahead and open it up for any questions so that you can let me know like what you have issues with, what you have questions on, so we can get all of those questions addressed. Okay, let me see what's in the chat box. Yes, I am recording. Okay, does anyone have a specific question about the actual strategy itself? What you're looking for? I'm clear. So a narrow band means consolidation, yes, and the bands can change. So that's why you want to make sure when you're coming in, it's a big wide band, so and it's going in your direction. Correct. Okay, do we have any other questions? Actually, what I'll do is I will, to make it easier, I will unmute, and then I'm going to mute back, but allow you to unmute yourself. Okay, so now anyone who wants to ask a question can unmute themselves.
Nicole?
Yes.
Hi, it's me, Adriana.
Hi, Adriana.
Okay, I have a couple questions. One, I asked there, is there any specific time frame that you're being trading and is better for this strategy, or any time frame, like 15, 1 hour, any time frame?
Okay, I only use the 15-minute for me.
Okay.
I don't use the 1 hour. Too many fluctuations change for the 1 hour. This is more of a TP1 strategy and TP2 strategy. So I only use the 15-minute time frame.
Okay, perfect. And the second question I had, any pattern, it doesn't matter what pattern, the bath, the crab, it doesn't matter, correct?
Yes, you can use any pattern you want. Just note that the shark pattern is the one that moves extremely fast.
Okay.
So sometimes it's hard to catch. The shark pattern is the only pattern that has 2 entries. You see this has an entry here and this has an entry here. So it gives you 2 entry points, and typically that second candle like barrels down. It moves really quickly. So if you're brand new, you might want to be patient and avoid the sharks. But if the Bollinger Bands meet up, I take shark patterns. I haven't seen any issues with them. I just know it moves really fast. So for example, when the second candle's forming and it starts forming and coming down and hits the Bollinger Band, and crosses it, I have to make a decision to get in, like immediately. You cannot hesitate because it will just drop right down. You see it just crossed TP1 and went almost to TP2 on the second candle. Yeah, so that one moves very fast, but all the other patterns are pretty much the same. I mean, they do different things, but they're pretty predictable, so you can use it with any pattern.
Okay, thank you. And my last question, when you add the stochastics and the Bollinger Bands, you just have them with the regular settings. You don't change anything to it, correct?
Correct, yeah. I just use them with the regular settings because what I'm looking for is that crossover.
Okay.
And I'm looking to make sure the red is on top of the blue. So as you see right now, even though that was doing a little pullback dance, it went way up to here, it went past TP1, the red is still on top of the blue. And it's been on top of the blue the entire time. So that gives you confidence to say, this is a sell. But eventually, think about it logically, the red is eventually going to touch this line, and then what's going to happen? It's going to turn into a buy. So I don't know if that turn, it looks like it's getting pretty close to me. Is that turn going to make it to TP3? Pretty big distance, right? Is it? Maybe. But that's where you put your risk management into place. And, you know, I always say you don't want to get greedy. You either take TP1 or TP2 and then be out. So usually that's what I do. I don't really try to go to TP3 because I've noticed it does reverse. It'll reverse and then go the opposite way altogether.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, no problem. All right, I saw another question. Hold on 1 second. I'll call your name and then just mute yourself back. And then the person, let me check the chat box 1 second. Okay, so RSI at 60 means it's going to turn into a sell. Yes, April, do you want to come on? Do you want to come on the, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. My dog is barking, so.
Okay, no worries.
Can you hear that?
You can hear.
Yeah, so you were answering my question when you were speaking about Adriana, so that was cool. But then, so like what time in the evening, I meant to say, do you like to trade you find that the market is just moving a bit better, like around 9 o'clock?
Yes, actually I start looking around 8.
Really?
7:38, I start
Uh-huh.
checking to see if any patterns are forming. Like yesterday, I was trading, for example, and I was doing something, so I was a little bit late. I looked at like 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern time, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm on Hawaii time, so that was, let's see, 6 hours back, like 3 p.m. Yeah, I was doing something at 2 o'clock.
Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm in Hawaii. Yeah, for a month actually, so trying to adjust to the time zone has been fun. Yeah, I'm still on Eastern time somehow, but anyways. So when I was looking at the trades last night, I was looking at them at, I looked at 9 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock, like 4 different trades had formed and hit all the TPs. I was like, what? So I was 1 hour late. So basically around 7:38, I would be looking, this is Asian session you're trading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and 2 things can happen here. So if you're doing this strategy to get to TP1 and TP2, just note that volume can be very strong around that time, like 8 to 9, and then start to slow down like 10, 11 o'clock. So you have to trust the trades that you're taking. You sometimes end up going to sleep, meaning you put in the stop loss, right? You put in the stop loss. Now, say you don't want to use this stop because it's already gone down to here. You can push it to the entry. I'll do it to the first entry. They better not go back to this entry, right? So I'll move my stop to this entry. If it's already in profit, say I want to go to sleep and price is right here, I'll move my stop loss into a stop profit. So that's why I'll trade it like 8, 9 o'clock. So if I go to bed at 11, it had 2 hours, that's 8 candles to get wherever it's going. This is only 4 candles so far. So if you gave it 2 hours to get where it's going, it probably already knocked you out at TP2 in profit. So you won the trade, you were done. But say you started and it didn't quite get there and you needed to go to sleep, it was still running. You can take your stop, right? So your stop is here. You can move your stop right 3 pips from your entry if you want to give it room so you don't get stopped out, and leave in TP3 if you want to take a chance, or you can keep it trailed very closely. You can keep it about 4 or 5 pips from where it is right now, which would be right around there. So we're at 770, we're at 770. So that means 77.
Right now, if we were to enter now to try to hit take profit 3, you would put your stop loss where you point it.
Well, the optimal entry strategy wouldn't let you be entering right now. This trade is already old. Why is it old? Because it crossed TP1 already and it crossed TP2. So it's old. The only exception with that is look at all these red candles. It still has strong red candles into a sell, so it very well may go to TP3, and the Bollinger Band is still touching TP3. So could you take the trade? Sure. You could take it from TP2 to TP3. But as soon as it gets about 5 pips in profit, move your stop loss into a profit number, meaning from your entry, so that you can protect the trade, because you're risking it now. Your entry's late at this point, right? Optimal entry means you're getting in on the 2nd candle. That's what that means, not on the 4th or 5th candle. That's no longer an optimal entry.
Okay.
Because remember, this is the pullback line. This red line is the pullback line. So do you see a pullback? Just a little bit. So maybe it's not finished. Maybe the next candle is going to pull back, and it might pull all the way back and reverse, when you could have just taken TP1 and TP2 and been out of the trade.
Yeah, because that's like a candle, right? The one that's the indecision candle, the one that just looks like a plus sign.
Yes. Right. So that is something, like if you study candlestick management, so I'm glad you brought that up. The candles themselves tell a very specific story. I started studying just candlesticks in the very beginning so I could understand what they meant. So when this candle, this blue candle, which price was rising, right? It was coming from a very strong blue candle, the strong top, another blue candle, strong, but a little more wick, which meant price went to here but couldn't hold. Then it did it again, pushed up again, but now it reversed and looked at where it closed. So price went all the way up to here, but it wasn't a strong buy candle because it couldn't hold the price way up here at this level at 942. I'm going to knock off the last digit because it only goes to the fourth digit anyway. The pips go to the fourth digit. So the last digit is the pipette. So for simple math, I'm going to call out the last two numbers except for the final 2-1. Okay, so at 94, your price is at 94 here. 94 drops to here, which is 91. So 3 pips down, it couldn't hold. Now you have a sell candle. Look at this sell candle. Nice, big, wide sell candle with a wick heading down. That's strong. This candle's not as strong, right? And this candle's very weak indecision candle. So it could turn into a bullish momentum or can continue into bearish. But what I'm seeing here on the stochastic is the red's been on top the entire time. Sell, 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 sell. And until the blue line crosses over the red, I can stay in this trade. And the more the two separate, I'm glad we're watching this at the same time, the more these two separate, the stronger it is. So look at that. There it goes. Now it crossed. Now this low right here is lower than this low, lower than that low, and lower than this low. So is it going to hit TP3? Most likely. Most likely it is because the Bollinger Band's telling you it is.
You know, I've seen people where, like this candle that's forming right now, it'll start going low like that, and then by the time it closes, it went right back up. You know, like I've seen that too, and it's like, oh, this looks like a strong sell candle, but by the time the 15 minutes is over.
Yes. Oh, yes, it can do that. That's why I said TP1 and TP2. You know, people try to get greedy and want to get all the way to TP3 and beyond. You can do that if you want to be a swing trader and stay in long term. But if you have a strategy like this that is so surefire, I'd take 2 trades. Like had I seen this exactly when it formed an hour ago, I would have put in 2 trades because the stop loss is really reasonable. Like it's a very reasonable stop loss. I always look at the stop loss first. I do it backwards. I go, how much am I risking to take this trade? And if I'm going to take the trade and I'm saying I want to risk 2% of my account or whatever, that's the best way to trade is 2 or 3% of your account. But say I have a dollar amount in mind, you know, I don't want to lose more than $50. Well, then I have to look and see how many pips is this. So from my entry to the stop loss, 87 and 94, that's 3 plus 7, that's 7 pips. So if I want to lose around $50, let's say I'm going to take a $9, $8, something like an $8 lot size. Okay, so I can trade with a 0.80, which is $8. Now, if I take this trade knowing I could lose 8 times 7, $56, but I'm okay with that. If I lose $56, I lose $56. If I'm going to take 2 trades and I have to know I might lose $100, right? But if I'm okay with losing $100 because you have to take some level of risk to see, but you're minimizing your risk with these high probability trades with all these tools, then I would come in with 0.8 and 0.8, which is the equivalent of $16 actually, if I'm taking 2 trades. I would come in with $16 knowing my risk is $100. It goes the wrong way, I'm going to lose $100. But if it goes the right way, I'm going to enter around the 87 mark, and it's going to fall to 83. It's going to fall to 78. Let's say I only go to 78. So I'm going about 10 pips, about 9 pips, 10 pips. So my 10 pips times the $16 is going to give me $160 for the trade. If I want, because this Bollinger Band is so wide here, if I decide, you know, I really want to take it all the way down, another 10 pips to TP3, about 9 pips difference there, then I would get an additional, instead of just getting the 10 pips, I would get closer to 20 pips. And so I would have double that. Then I would make $380. The key to trading is a couple of things, right? It's definitely mindset. You have to be confident in what you're taking. So if you're not confident, you need to trade in a demo first until you become confident. That's what the demos are for. You use the demo account to make sure these strategies work. for you. Once they're working for you and you see consistently you're hitting TP1, TP2, TP1, TP2, and the Bollinger Band is wide, whenever I see Bollinger Band wide to TP3, I go always to TP2. That's what I do. I always get it all the way to TP2. If I can tell you the probability, it's really wild. I think it's like 90, I think the last time I added it all up, it's about 96% accurate with this.
Wow.
Yep. Now going to TP3 is not as accurate. I've tested that as well. So like I said, the keys are mindset, right? You have to be confident, and the way you get confident is testing it in a demo account. That's where people try to do it in a live account, use 10 cents. It's a different feeling of emotion. Once you've done it in your demo account long enough, you can clearly see you're winning. Then you just move it over to your live and you just continue the streak. Now, if in the event something happens, that's why you got to look at the news. If something happens and spikes up and hits your stop, occasionally that'll happen, but it's happening a lot less in the evenings for me because there's no news.
Right.
That's why I started trading Asian session, because I'm like, for me, I'm noticing I'm not competing with any kind of news. There's no news at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12. There might be some news in Japan at 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's not really affecting my trading that much. It's consistently hitting TP1 and TP2. And I learned that from the gentleman who created the optimal entry strategy. He tested it for 60 days, created this, and he's made multiple millions of dollars doing this. Now, I know for a fact he's using much larger lot sizes than our risk management teaches you. That's how he's making the profit so quickly. Because the very first week, he turned $1,500 into $7,500. So there's no way he was just using 2% per trade. Right. But he created the strategy with such certainty that his confidence level was extremely high, which enables him to trade at a high level because he saw it for 60 days in a demo. And he's like, wow, this just worked time after time after time, and he perfected it. Why not take it? And as you notice, look at the stochastic, still above and separate, right?
Do you know if he was using the 15-minute as well?
He was. He said he was scalping. Okay. He was using the 15-minute. Mm-hmm. The only thing he might be using different settings. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look at that. But I've been using it with this settings for quite a while, and I've never had an issue. I just don't change the settings because I really just looking for the red line to be over. And as long as this consistently stays like this, the trade is going in my direction. Now, if I notice it stays like this and keeps getting a bit wider, you might want to trail your stop, because when you see red candles like this, and this one's even getting stronger, it can continue down. So if I want to take my stop loss and trail it, I would just keep trailing it, a few pips, keep it 5 pips from the current price, and eventually it'll reverse and stop me out, but it'll always stop you out in profit.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome. I hope that was
helpful. Can I ask you one more question? Yes. If I'm just curious about using them, but would you consider having a class on Fibonacci?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to put my name on the list for that if.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to, because because I studied that as well. I studied the candlesticks, Fibonacci. I'm like, I'm going to figure this out because I really had to. Like, this is going to be my lifestyle. I had no choice. So when you have no choice, I just decided that's it. Like I said to myself mentally, like, this is what happened. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm sure there's some people on the call I don't know particularly. I think most of you I do know. I saw a couple names that weren't familiar, but let me just glance at the thing again. Yeah, most of you I know.
You know what you'll see, Nicole, I just sent you a note regarding that. So I know exactly where you're getting ready to go. I just sent you a note asking you.
yes, I saw it. Thank you, Latasha. So just so you have a little bit of background, right? I'm Nicole, of course, Nicole Michelle. And when I saw this opportunity in the beginning, I literally needed it. Okay, let's put it that way. I was overworking in corporate America. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And sometimes you hit a wall. I just didn't want to be in cubicles. I wanted to work outside. I wanted freedom. And to me, freedom was working when you want, maybe harder than you would at a job, because actually I do work harder now, but I just wanted to be on my own terms. So there's certainly nothing wrong with having a job. It's a good stepping stone to get you started into another life. But what trading has done for me particularly is I came in like so focused that I just would not fail. And I went into the academy and I started studying. I not only did the videos about 2 times, but then I went into the live trainings and I started watching all the recordings. I went back and watched recordings for weeks and weeks and weeks until I'm like, okay, I understand support, I understand resistance. And every time they said something I didn't understand, I wrote it down in my notebook. I ended up with like 12 notebooks of information over time, like with trades, with testing things and stuff. But then I started on the harmonic scanner. I just started scalping, like looking at trades like this, taking them. I didn't even have these indicators at the time, but I started to see the wins because the harmonic scanner on its own is probably somewhere around 70 to 80% accurate. You just took every single trade, you'd win about 70% of the trade, 60 to 70% of the trade. So you'd lose 40% of the trades. So I wanted to increase my win rate to over 85%, over 90%. So I started really studying what are all these people doing that are winning. And that's when I came across our, mentor. If you're on my team or connected with my team, I came across the optimal entry strategy on this video. Yeah, from Mr. Young, because obviously he's friends with the person that created it. And I just protect that person because they've made so many millions of dollars. So I'm just not speaking their name, but they came in 2 years ago, turned $1,500 into well over $40 million. And I think it's somewhere in the $200 million range. I don't know, but it's a ridiculous number. And this was his strategy that he created doing it. So I said, I want to follow in the footsteps of someone who's great. So once I had trading down, I was like, okay, now I know I don't have to go back to get a regular job. I decided to live my dream, and that was to be really a nomad. I'm such a free spirit. I just wanted to be wherever I felt like being. So I put my stuff in storage in Atlanta, and I haven't been back since November of 2018. I have done Airbnbs at first. So I started in Miami. I spent my winter in Miami. Then in February, I went to a conference in Orlando, part of the company. And then I went on to Vegas to a big conference. Then we went to Los Angeles after that with members of the team and just had fun over there. And then I just continued to either do Airbnbs until around April. And one day I was meditating and came up with this idea that I should watch animals and possibly pet sit. I don't even know why this happened, but it was very random. And so I started looking online like how I could do this. And there's a whole site, there's a whole tribe of people out there that do this. So the reason I wanted to do that, not only to save on the Airbnbs, because sometimes they were expensive, it was like $2,000 a month, and I just wanted to save on that, but I also wanted to travel to different places and meet lots of people. So my first Airbnb was in Maryland, and I ended up in like a 4,400 square foot, gorgeous, renovated, historic townhome. The owner is so nice, so lovely. What are all these pop-ups? Sorry. And I just watched her 2 dogs while she went to Europe for 3 weeks. So I got to stay there for free. I had my own car, but she gave me use of a car. Food in the house, whatever. So it was really wonderful. We actually became friends. We're close friends. I actually talked to her today. She came on the team. She's actually trading now really, really well, which is funny. And her son joined, and he's on the team. He's trading too. So it's contagious, right? We're all doing the same exact thing. It's taken me all around the world. After going from Maryland, I went on to, where did I go next? I went to Boston, and I watched 2 cats over there for 3 weeks. And then I went to Atlanta, watched 3 cats for a couple of weeks. Then I went back to Miami. And then I took a vacation finally, where I turned everything off for 10 days and went to Capri, Italy. And I got to say that was the most amazing experience in my entire life, to see the Amalfi Coast and just how beautiful what nature created. It was just stunning. If anyone has ever been, they'll know. But if you haven't been, put that on your bucket list, because it was unreal. I just can't even explain it in words. It was life-changing. Coming back from that, I had already set up this pet sit in Hawaii for 5 weeks. So that's why I'm in Hawaii for 5 weeks, and I'm watching 2 adorable cats. They're so chill. I barely see them every day because they're always hiding. They come out for food, but that's about it. But what happened in Italy, I don't know, something switched, and I said, I need to go all in on this. I need to make sure everyone knows how to trade. I want to create 7-figure earners. That's my goal. Like, for me personally, I want all of you on this call to win. I want you to get amazing success. And in 2020, we crossed 7 figures together. So I'm here for you. You need help, you can text me, reach out to me. We could do this as much times as we need to. We can live trade together. Like I said, had I seen this a little bit earlier, we would have been in this trade. We would have all been in profit. But you know, it is what it is. Let me just refresh real quick while I'm talking, see if anything else comes up. But that's pretty much my story. I wanted to share that with you and let you know. Let me just look at the chat box real quick. I see some movement in there.
And I want to chime in here. I want to chime in here, Nicole, while she's looking for, you know, more scans and going through the chat box, guys. Nicole is living the dream. This is actually Nicole's anniversary month. Nicole started just 1 year ago in October. And, you know, many of you who are on this call, at least, you know, especially those who are in my other part of my organization, you guys have been introduced to this strategy. Kind of reiterates to you guys before that this is a beast of a strategy. And it's just like Nicole said, just getting into the strategy, being consistent with any strategy you get in. You get consistent, you get really confident in your demo account, and we all can be living the dream. You know, Nicole is already living it. She's living life of freedom. And this has reaped dividends for her in just a year, guys. And, you know, whatever your why is several you on this call, whatever your why is, you definitely are in the right space at the right time, affiliate with the right leaders. Nicole is like, her team is called Team Inspires for a reason. She wants to inspire her team to 7-figure earners and people who are living a life of freedom, just as she stated. So listen to her, guys. Even, you know, April, please reach out to her if you guys feel like it. We're all one family. We're all one family here. And Nicole is awesome at what she does. And she's, you know, she's been committed to a life of freedom through, and it shows it right here. You know, she's committed herself to studying, and yeah, she's reaping the rewards. So kudos to you, Nicole.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words, Latasha. I appreciate it.
And I see you, Lakia. Lakia is not too far behind you. I love how Lakia she just really submerges herself. I see her in several training calls. I love it.
Yes, she does.
Really love it.
Yes, she does. We actually had a call today before this call, her and I.
Wow.
So we do strategy, you know, we do strategy training, we do mindset stuff. What do you have trouble on? You know, you have to look at whatever your weaknesses are. You know, what are your weaknesses so that you can focus on those? And that's going to make you a better trader. So kudos to everyone that just keeps going with this, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but it keeps going with this. You know, I want to say, Latasha, thank you so much. You're always so supportive, you know, just always there when I need you. And it's just great to be on a team like this that does feel like family and has support, because it's a journey. You know, we're not going to all get there in a second. It doesn't work like that. But think about it. If you were to become a doctor, like how many years you have to study to become a doctor? And most doctors don't make $1 million a year. Not net.
Good point.
They don't make $1 million a year net, and they come out with student loan debt that's like up to their eyeballs, $300,000 in student loan debt to become a doctor or more. I don't even know what it is these days. So imagine if you stay with something 2 years, 3 years, and you don't give up, right? You keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And if someone can do it in 2 years, you can do it in 2 years. If someone can do it in 3 years, you can do it in 3 years. It doesn't always happen for someone in a year, but in 2 years and 3 years, it can happen. So I'm excited about what 2020 is going to bring. My mind's already in 2020. Like I have my goals laid out. Like we are going really high with the trading here, and I want all of you to be able to do the same. So if you have any specific questions about the optimal entry strategy, make sure you put them in the chat. I'm just going to read this real quick. Okay. Yes, mindset. Absolutely, Adriana. It is all about mindset. It really is. You know what happens to people? They go, I should get out the trade. When they see this blue candle right here, because there's no other trades to take right now. I can only just talk about what exists. But if you're in this trade, you say, I want to get out this trade, because you see a blue candle and you're like, oh, it's reversing. Or even like this second candle, because it would have gone way up to here. right? And you were already in profit to here. So you're like, wait, I was in profit. Say I saw $20 in my account. Now I only see $7. What's going on? Or I see $1, right? And you're ready to get out and you don't wait. And you're like, why didn't I wait? That's what we mean by mindset. Well, how do you know you should be waiting? This tells you right here, you should be waiting. This is a sell trade. Look at the stochastic. It's still on top. Sell, 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 sell. No cross. I wouldn't get out this trade until it crosses. That's me personally. But like I said, if I have to go to sleep and it's already in profit, and I say I want to try to get to TP3, I might put in TP3 if I wanted to try, right? And just trail it very, very closely, meaning keep your stop very, very close, put your TP at TP3 and go to sleep. And in the morning, you're either going to come out with, say, the $20 here, or you're going to get the extra 10 pips and you're going to have $30 there. But the moment this decides to cross and point up, you need to get out the trade because you really run longer. I mean, I've tested this hundreds of times. In the beginning, I did like hundreds of trades and I wrote them all down. So out of every 100, I would look at how many won, how many lost, how many won, and check the strategy. And that's why I know out of 100 trades, it was not more than 4 hit TP3 during the time I took them. So some do, but not a lot. So for me, TP1 and TP2 are the sweet spot for me. And in my opinion, it's enough pips. You just have to be trading more and trade. You have to find your time to trade, basically. So, all right. So there doesn't seem to be any more questions. So I'm just gonna, I'm making sure. Okay, no more
Nicole,
questions.
I just want to ask something really quick.
Sure.
In case I want to try this strategy like in the morning, because sometimes that's when my girls are at school and I have more time, is that okay, or is because of the news that you were mentioning?
What time?
Between 9 and 10.
Between 9 and 10 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
You certainly can. Yes, you certainly can. I just noticed there's just a lot more fluctuation at that time. And around 10:30, things start to slow down. Eastern Standard Time, because 11 o'clock, London session closes. 11 Eastern, London session closes. So now you lose all that volatility from the New York session, the London session, it closes.
Okay.
So for me to be in trades after 10, 11 o'clock it's not ideal. Can you do it? Of course you can, but the key for me is letting it get into profit so I can move the stop loss into profit.
Okay.
Right. For me, my goal is what's called a risk-free trade system. So out of every 10 trades, maybe 3 trades will go to my stop profit. So it means I'll only get 3 pips on those. 1 or 2 trades will hit my stop loss, but the rest will go all the way to wherever I set it, TP1 or TP2.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're gonna trade, can you trade like by 8 a.m.? Is that possible?
At 8 a.m. is when I take my daughters to school, but even if I have to like get up for London, I've been getting up for London, but going everywhere, like this educator, this strategy, this other one, so maybe I can just focus and trade London with this one. I don't know.
Yes, if you can you don't have to actually be up at exactly 3 either. Like I've noticed there's still a lot of volume moving around 4 or 5 o'clock. It's still good.
Okay.
So if you want to do like 5 o'clock, so you have time for yourself, you trade from like 5 to 7, you have time to take care of your girls from 7 to 8, or you do, whatever time you need before you have to start getting ready. You can certainly do that in the morning. And yes, you can use this strategy.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's
okay,
what
just know at night it's not moving. You're not going to get big spikes in the candles at night. It's a lot calmer, the trading, and sometimes you just have to set in and go to sleep.
Yes.
Which is fine too. I love waking up in the morning and be like, oh wow, that hit.
That's my goal.
Oh darn, that didn't work.
Yes.
That's my goal. I want to learn one day to be able to go to sleep and wake up in blue.
Yes. There's something magic with the Asian session. I'm not sure why, but I remember hearing Tim talk about that he only trades late at night and very early in the morning. So he's doing Asian and London.
Yes.
But he's not doing the other sessions.
Yeah, I was just going to say, guys, it's so, you know, inspiring me is that he made his millions before 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Can
He
you
makes all
imagine?
his millions. Can you imagine that? He makes all of those, you know, as you always say, past profits do not guarantee future returns. But hey, this guy makes massive amounts of money before, you know, most people start their day. So it's just that's the power we have here at Forex.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, well, if
Well, awesome
anyone,
job.
Mhm.
Awesome job.
Good.
Awesome job, Nicole.
Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope you find it very simple. You just have to add two things, Bollinger Band, Stochastic, and as you notice, look, the blue's trying to cross over it. So you should be out. I would get out. The trade, done. TP2. Okay, so
Nicole.
test this. Test this and definitely let me know how you do with it. Because if you have questions about it, I can show you where you might have missed something. Like if the Bollinger Band wasn't wide enough or whatever, you can send me a text with the trade you're looking at.
How do we reach you?
Okay, so you can reach me either on Instagram. My IG is at Nicole, Nicole, Michelle, Michelle, Inspires, Inspires, Nicole Michelle Inspires, or you can text me at 305-788-8346.
Okay, and just let us know if you're doing that Fibonacci class because I want to be on it.
Yes, absolutely. I will definitely put that down.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining, and we'll have more of
Good
these.
night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone's gonna practice. Yay, practice. Okay. All right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
Good one. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.